Hello, I'm Richard Ridge for Broadway World. The new musical Something Rotten, which is directed and choreographed by Casey Nicholaw, has come to Broadway's St. James Theatre. And we're here on opening night to celebrate with the company, led by Brian Darcy James, Christian Borle, and John Cariani. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
I loved this the other day. I cannot wait to come back. It is opening night. How do you feel?
Elated. It's been a great day. Opening is always kind of discombobulating in a magical way because your routine is thrown off by an avalanche of love, of flowers and cards. And we had the Gypsy Robe ceremony today, which was so exciting, and Matt Wall got the robe. Yeah. And, so there's a lot of extraordinary, out-of-the-ordinary things happening. And then you do a show for a lot of loved ones, and then you dress up and party. So it's a great day.
But the audience tonight is just like the audience has been for the entire preview period. Everybody loves this show.
We were very worried that all of these lovely people that were here tonight we'd get to the end of like a musical and it'd just be kind of... But they were effusive and wonderful, and they stood immediately. Yeah. That thing that happens at the end of musical, in the middle of the first act, is like nothing I've ever seen, and I stand backstage at the monitor watching both what's happening and the first few rows. And it's one of the most incredible things I've ever seen in the theater.
Because you've worked on some incredible shows, but you and I spoke at that meet and greet. The numbers we saw were hilarious. This has been a really special journey working on this show, because you did it all in New York, right?
Yes.
I didn't go out of town.
No, and thank Kevin McCullum for that. And Seattle's an incredible place, and we all felt actually a responsibility to. We were sad not to go to Seattle, but there was something happening that Casey felt confident about, that Kevin did, and we were able to pack together a pretty great show. I think we still wish that we could have a couple of weeks still to work on it, but at some point it just has to be what it's going to be.
It is so great, and you're working with creators who are making their Broadway debuts, and it's such a perfect musical.
Yeah, they're amazing, and they worked so hard. I think they felt like they were in very, very good hands with Casey. They trusted Casey to say, maybe cut the thing that we all love, which we learned from Mike Nichols. Mike Nichols in Spamalot, he cut 2 of everybody's favorite numbers out of town. And we couldn't believe he did it, and it made the show better.
They told me tonight that this was the hardest thing they've ever done, but the most rewarding thing they've ever done, creating for the theater.
That's right. Yeah. I would second that emotion.
Working with this cast, a lot of friends. Tell me about working with your fellow actors.
Well, Brooks Ashmanskis and I have known each other for 20 years. We did a reading together of an early version of a musical of The Girl Most Likely, that old TV movie. And we were in the ensemble together singing behind Sherry Renee Scott. And he made me laugh hysterically even then. And so this is our first chance to get to open a show together and rehearse together. And it makes me real happy. And then multiply that by 10, and it's everybody else in the cast. It's real lucky.
My final question is, when you took your bow tonight, do you remember what you were thinking?
No, I have to say, there's a weird thing that happens, which you just kind of... No, it's not about thought at all at that point, but it felt real good.
It's opening night, you're back on Broadway. How do you feel?
I feel absolutely like a dream is coming true. I mean, it's never lost on me getting to be in a Broadway show. And I haven't been opening in a Broadway show since title of show. I've been lucky enough to replace in the Addams Family, but this is my first big Broadway opening since title of show. So I'm thrilled to be here. I'm just tickled pink.
What a show to return in. When you first got this and you read it, what were your thoughts?
This is honest to God, I thought I was dreaming, and I thought I was going to wake up. When Casey called me, first of all, I got that crazy, dreamy phone call. I didn't have to audition, which I always have to audition, like 7 or 8 times. And Casey called me because we had worked together in Most Happy Fella and a bunch of other things. And he called me and he was like, I have this part if you want to do it. And I thought they were going to Seattle. So I was like, I'm already booked to do something out of town. He was like, no, honey, Broadway. I was like, who gets this phone call? So I got that phone call, and I kept thinking I was dreaming it, and that in a couple of days somehow it was going to be taken away. So the fact that it's come to life is extraordinary.
What I love about this whole show is you guys could have gone out of town, but Casey said, let's stay in town with these. The writers are brilliant, Broadway debuts, but you guys did this all together. What was it like working with them?
It was exhilarating and intense, and I've never been on a sitcom before, but I think it was a little bit like that, where you get pages, not just every day, but like every couple of hours. We're trying a new joke. They were so brave and so, just like they're the smartest guys ever, and we all rose to meet them. And, we would get stuff that we would put on Broadway in previews, and I would be like, great, I just got this scene 3 hours ago, but it's going to be fine. And, it was a huge challenge and a huge privilege.
That's how the golden age was done. I mean, some of the biggest numbers in Broadway shows were put in they got it in the afternoon,
right,
and it was put up right that night.
If it worked back then, it can certainly work today. It's a good formula, it turns out. Yeah.
Playing this role and working with this cast, tell me.
I mean, total dream come true. I've said this to Brian Darcy James, but literally a year ago on my birthday's in December, so a little more than that, I wished on my cake that I would get to work with Brian Darcy James. That is a true story. It's a little creepy and true. And then I get to be married to him on stage, and he is, he's as good as you think. I mean, he's just the most generous. He absolutely is a total pro, and I feel super lucky. And then, throw in Christian Borle and Kate Reinders and Brad Oscar, and I mean, it's just person after person after person. I feel extraordinarily honored to be among them. And I think, again, like, I just try to rise and meet them because they are some of my favorite performers ever on Broadway.
I love it. You get a dream phone call from Casey. You wish upon your cake to work with Brian Darcy James. When you took your bow tonight, do you remember what you were thinking?
I was thinking, I knew my parents were in the front row of the mezzanine, and I was just thinking, thank you. And, it's all because of them. And the fact that they let this little weirdo kid do theater from the time she was 7 and always supported me and never said, you want to think about medicine or perhaps law? And they always bolstered my enthusiasm for it. So I was thinking about them, and I'm so happy they're here tonight.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
It is opening night. How do you feel tonight?
Happy. Very happy.
What has this whole experience been like? You and I spoke at the meet and greet like a few months ago at the Little Schubert. What's the whole experience been like working on this show?
Well, the first reading that I did of it was, I think, in 2013, in January of 2013, and I loved the part so much, and I hoped that I get to do it, and I have gotten to do it. Working with a team of writers who really know how to break apart what they've written and make it better all the time has been thrilling. Working with a bunch of actors who are some of the best comedians on Broadway has been thrilling. Working with Casey Nicholaw is absolutely thrilling. Being in a play that has amazing dancers is something that's very new for me, so I'm kind of thrilled to be a part of that and get to watch them do their thing every day because it's amazing. The whole thing's been pretty great. It's been hard work, but pretty great.
Because you guys could have gone out of town, but Casey and the producers, you all decided to stay in town. What was it like working the whole show in New York?
It was really hard. 2 weeks ago, we got a brand new song with brand new lyrics that we rehearsed that afternoon and had to put up that night because they needed to see it. And I've never done anything like that. Last week, they took out a huge ballad and replaced it with something completely different. So that was shocking. It was like having someone rip a scab off and put a bandage on it and just keep going. And so it was really interesting to rehearse in front of New Yorkers, because New Yorkers are tough. And it was never scary because the changes were always better.
Everybody loves this show from the very first day. What is that like, hearing that roar from the second this show starts?
Well, it's funny because everybody asked me what tonight was like. I said it's like every other night. It's not. The audience wasn't any different. Usually opening nights are an inflated sense of what the show is, and it wasn't tonight. I don't know. I've never been in anything like it. I've never been in anything that people come backstage and they have light in their eyes like that. Just joy. It's unmitigated joy.
Working with Brian Darcy James.
He's my favorite. I've told a lot of people that during tech he asked me who my favorite stage actor was, and I was like, you. Because I've seen it. I just happen to have seen the guy in so many things. You know how you just happen to see some people in everything, and I've seen him just about everything he's done, not on purpose, just it happened that way. I think he's tremendous. He can do everything.
He's also one of the nicest guys in the world.
Really, really super nice guy.
If you could sum up the best part of the experience so far with working on this show, John, what's it been for you?
Watching these writers who are very seasoned screenwriters and writers of music, watching them struggle and succeed has been really great for me because I'm a writer, and it was good for me to watch people fight through some pain to get to where they knew that the show needed to get. That's been thrilling for me to watch.
They told me it was the hardest thing they've ever done, but the most rewarding thing they've ever done working for the theater.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. They're quite amazing.
My final question is, when you took your bow tonight on stage at the St. James, do you remember what you were thinking?
I was just so happy. Just to get to do this is really incredible.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Another opening for you. How do you feel tonight?
I feel so happy and relieved and kind of intoxicated. It's a great feeling.
What has this show been like for you working on this?
It's been a joy, really. It's been a joy because everyone is working very hard and we're all on the same page and we all adore each other. So that is, that's a lot of wind in your sails because it's fun to go to work and it's so fun to be with the people that you love. And then on top of it, the people that are receiving it, the people that are loving it, they're giving us so much back. So that's the best part.
When you first heard about this and read it, what were your thoughts?
I was struck by the when it gets absurd, the absurdity of it. I love that. I absolutely love it. But I also love the fact that it starts with a very, a real earnest desire for my character, at least, to kind of make the right things happen. Things go haywire, and it goes to a place that I love. I love it. So that was the thing that really struck, the comedy of it.
And your creators are all making their Broadway debuts.
I know, they're extraordinary. They're great writers, all of them, and they all have a great appreciation. They're steeped in the history of this tradition. So it's not, in a way, it's not surprising that they should be able to do this, but it is exciting to see them experience it for the first time.
Working with this company and working with Casey, tell me.
Joy is the first word that comes to mind, and he just left. But Casey Nicholaw leads with joy, and it's impossible not to be infected by it. And that is a great way for anyone to start their day. And then on top of it, he delivers and he executes so thoroughly and expertly that it's that combination is rare, and it's really quite a pleasure and an honor to be able to work with someone like that. I'm very grateful that I got to do this with him.
And then the cast.
Yeah, everybody is ridiculously good.
Ridiculously good. They are.
It's true. It's true. Yeah. In fact, I think I just heard Brooks Ashmanskas, which just makes me laugh just thinking that he might be near me.
When you took your bow tonight, do you remember what you were thinking?
I remember thinking that this was, everybody, John and I come out of the end, and I'm watching everybody take their bow and just kind of soaking up all of this great energy that's coming at us. I just remember thinking, wow, we did it. We did it.
Congratulations. You look stunning. It is open night. First, welcome home to Broadway. How does it feel?
So great. So great. I'm so happy to be back.
What has this whole journey been like for you? We spoke at that meet and greet at the Little Schubert, and the ride you all took us on that day. What has it been like for you?
It has been a crazy whirlwind, sort of a Groundhog Day, but of magic, where, we did our out of town in previews, sort of, and it was so much fun, and I feel like the show has just really come together in a way that we could only have dreamed, really, and now that we're here, it's like, of course, this is what the show was always supposed to be, and we did it real fast, but I think we did it really right.
Okay, when you first read the script and everything else and heard about the show and the role you got, talk about that.
When I first read the script, I kept paging through going, wait, I have been waiting, this is the part that I have been waiting for, because she's sweet, she's real, she sings like a princess, but she's also a little bit naughty. So what else could I ask for, really? It's perfect.
Working with Casey and working with this cast, tell me.
I still can't believe that I get to be a part of this company. And Casey is just, it's the best of the best. From Casey all the way down. Casey and Brian and John Cariani, my boyfriend.
And then just when you took your bow, here he is, your boyfriend. When you took your bow tonight on Broadway at the St. James, do you remember what you were thinking?
I think it was just like in the room of happiness. Yeah, honestly, I'm still a little bit in that happy room.
You are back at the St. James. Is it surreal?
Yeah, it is surreal. Only because it is a show that is similar in nature, or seems to inspire similar reactions, in the audience, and the joy of it, and the pleasure of getting up there and doing a new American musical comedy, like the producers was in that respect. Yes, so to be back at the St. James, one of the greatest theaters on Broadway in the history, and blah 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 blah. Oh my God, I couldn't be happier.
And this role you play, tell me, hilarious.
It's crazy. I mean, again, I am blessed. I somehow, the wheel kept spinning and it landed on Brad, and I get to go out there every night and play a role that I just, I adore the role and get to do a number.
Soothsayer.
Yeah, the soothsayer, Nostradamus, his nephew. But to get to do a number that celebrates everything that we love and that we all fell in love with, and why I'm doing this in the first place, and to be up there with this extraordinary ensemble and Mr. Brian Darcy James, I mean, that ultimately is really absolutely, just so thrilling to be out there doing it with all them. So
Working with Casey Nicholaw.
well, and then Casey, who was, one of us. He was up there singing and dancing and tapping and doing all that stuff, and he knows exactly what it's all about, and he's still one of us, and yet he has, thank the Lord, given us now in the last 5 years, some of the greatest, more than that, Drowsy and all that, some of the greatest American musical comedy, in the current and hopefully future and forever canon. And so yeah, I adore Casey, and I can't say enough about him.
Okay, so when you took your bow tonight back at the St. James, do you remember what you were thinking?
Tonight? Yeah, I mean, I was thinking, oh Lord, thank you so much. How blessed am I? My parents are here, my sister's here, my husband is here, my mother-in-law. It's all, it's everything I ever dreamed of. So once again, just to be a part of a Broadway opening night, much less tonight, which does feel very special in that way.
All right, you are hilarious. You look so handsome. You look very gorgeous.
Yeah, I thought so.
Casey told me, he said he called you up and offered you this part. And what did he tell you? There's nothing, there's no song, there's nothing. What did he tell you?
It was hilarious. Literally, Casey called me. It was January, and here we are in April. And he said, there's really nothing to the part. There's not a song. It's not funny. Would you be willing to come and we can do it together? The writers are game. Let's try to make it funny, and they might write you a song, and they did. And hopefully we made it funny. We'll see.
So you have made it funny, and the rest is history, right?
Oh, good. Well, it's been a complete joy to do it. I mean it. I've loved Casey for a long time. It's our first full production together, and a lot of old friends in the show. It's a real thrill.
And just working on this show with this cast.
Yeah, it's an astonishing cast. It really is, and it's no joke. Comedy's hard. Everyone makes it seem easy, and it was a real love fest here, and it was so thrilling to be a part of it. I'm honored to be a part of it.
The creators are all making their Broadway debuts.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Isn't that amazing? Because you think, oh, they must have written another 7 shows before this to get ready, but no. And they were so great. They're so nice, all of them. They're wildly funny. They have such a love for what we do and a respect for what we do, and I appreciate that. We all did. And they just were so game to go for it. And I hope people love this show, because we all really do. And I
know people love this show. I mean, and you guys didn't go out of town. You decided to stay in town and work in the trenches here.
And that's hard. That's a lot of work for the preview period. It's a lot of changes, and I don't even know what I said tonight, but it was exciting and challenging, but I think it was the right decision, and I'm so glad that they came right in with it and didn't overthink it.
How do you describe your character? How do you describe him?
Oh, I think he's very passionate about, his beliefs, and he's just trying to protect the world from this terrible thing called musical theater.
Okay, so when you took your bow tonight on stage at the St. James again, what were you thinking?
How is it that I get to do this for a living? It's astonishing to me, and I'm thrilled and moved by it, and it feels like the first time.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Whose suit is this?
This is Tor. It's a designer. His name is Tor Al Hassan, but it's a Tor Designs, and he is amazing. I saw his work at a fashion show, and I literally was like, I kind of want to figure out how I can get that. And he did a suit for me for another opening, and he was like, I want to do your suit for Something Rotten. And I said, okay. And he sort of kind of paid homage to my costume, my minstrel costume to sort of give the color. So I said, all right, let's do it, and that's what he came up with. Which is, thank you.
Very
thank
dapper.
you.
It's opening night. How do you feel?
I feel amazing. I mean, this show has been, it's kind of speechless. Like it's such an homage to musical theater, and to be a part of something like that that has that energy is truly a blessing. And to be a part of that and to get to open the show is kind of mind-blowing, you know, to open a Broadway show, and it is kind of amazing. A lot of pressure, but I love it. I'll take it.
You take us on this incredible journey. What an incredible opening number you start us off with.
Thank you.
What's it been like working with the creators and working with Casey?
Well, the creators have been so incredibly supportive, and this is my fourth show with Casey, and we have a very special place for him because he has let me do my thing and sort of given me my parameters, but let me sort of go, and that has been so incredibly rewarding as an actor to be able to get to do that. And when you to have somebody of that, you know, stature, trust, you know, give that trust to you is truly remarkable. And the writers, oh my gosh, it's their Broadway debut, so we all we look at every little thing that happens to sort of get excited for them, because we're so excited seeing them get excited about, you know, all the new things that it is to open a Broadway show. And they've just been, you know, just egoless and so open and willing to try things. And, you know, if I throw in a riff there, they're like, all right, do that again. So that's awesome when you get to sort of just do that. So
if you could sum up the best part of the experience of working on this show, what has it been for you?
You know, I think the best part has been seeing, I mean, we were on a very fast track with the show, so I think seeing the speed in which the show moved from, I always knew it was special, but to see from how it moved from where it was in our workshop to now a Broadway musical, I think watching that process has been the biggest sort of, you know, lesson for me, but also it's been awesome to watch that and to see how that has happened.
My final question: when you took your bow tonight on Broadway, the St. James, do you remember what you were thinking?
I was thinking, what was I thinking actually? I think I thought, I'm really sweaty, but this is amazing.
Sweaty and amazing.
Sweaty and amazing. So yeah, I think I definitely thought, wow, I'm really sweaty. But then I took it in and seeing everyone standing up and a lot of friends' faces in the house with just big smiles in their faces.
Okay, I can finally say it. Welcome to Broadway. How does it feel?
So great. So amazing.
It's amazing. We never expected anything like this.
Yeah, and so it feels we've been so welcomed by the community and by, you know, all the people that are not rookies at this like we are. So it's just great.
And American audiences are so enthusiastic and so full of love for musical theatre. So it's great to be here as a Brit and seeing how much they love what we're doing.
Yes.
I love that. What was tonight like for you guys? I mean, I saw this 3 days ago. The audience was on their feet halfway during the show. I mean, this is such an incredible show. What was it like for you guys sitting in the house?
You know, it's great. We had all of our families there and our closest friends who have really been in the trenches with us for 4 years and kind of wondering exactly what it is that we're doing. So for all of them to actually come tonight and to get to see it, and I don't know if we should be insulted at how stunned they were that it didn't suck.
Yeah. I mean, when my wife first came to the run-through of this, she's always been very cautious of my work, and I said, well, I just hope it gets to Broadway. And she went, well, I can't believe that won't get to Broadway. And when she said that, I thought, wow, this must be good. So yeah, we're really thrilled.
Yeah, it's great to have like he said, our friends have been cheering us on and our families for so long, and tonight they got to sit and see what we've been doing for so many years, and to cheer the cast on for what they, you know. So it's great.
You know, you all work in other mediums, but there's nothing like creating for the theater. It's this entity amongst itself, and unless you do it, you really don't understand it. You know, so have you really loved this whole journey of bringing this musical to Broadway?
It's the hardest thing I've ever done.
Yeah.
and the most rewarding creative process I've ever been a part of.
Yeah, and have actors like that take your lines and make them soar and make them fly and make them funnier and find jokes and nuances that you hadn't even realized yourself were in there. That's been a real privilege and a pleasure.
Yeah, and like you said, I think we knew it would be work. We knew it would be hard. We had no idea, and just how hard it would be. But like you said, rewarding. It's so rewarding to get over those hurdles and get to the other side, and just a sense of accomplishment like we've never felt before.
Congratulations. It's opening night. How do you feel tonight?
I feel like it's so wonderful when what you love gets to be what you do for a living. So I'm very grateful. I'm so appreciative. There's so much talent on that stage. The fact that Casey and those writers and inspired this brilliant cast to come together, an orchestra, to create this original whole cloth musical that celebrates the theater goer. You know, people say what it's about, and besides being about 2 hours, or 2.5 hours, it's about loving musicals. So if you've been to a musical, been disappointed by a musical, or loves a musical, this is the show to see because it celebrates the theater goer. And, I believe laughter is how we learn. And the real story of the show is to thine own self be true, that we all have to do what we love if we're going to contribute the most we can. And that's what I love about the show. It's a great, fun romp, and it has a real strong message about be who you are, don't apologize for who you are, and come to the theater and tell our stories in real time.
I will never leave you.
I
will never leave, boo.
I see another show in the mix, right?
Huh?
I see another.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We've got it together. Hi.
What a great show. All right, thank you for one of the most enjoyable nights I have spent in the theater.
Well, you're welcome.
What has it been like for you, Casey, working on this show?
Honestly, this show has been one of the most joyous shows I've ever worked on, and the cast is so spectacular, and everyone's so funny, and I've known so many of them for so long, and that's been the best part of it. It really has been, hands down, one of the most enjoyable experiences ever, and fun to do, and we worked our butts off, but all of us worked together as a group, and it really was so much fun.
You fast-track shows so fast. I mean, Kevin was saying you could have gone out of town, but you decided all to stay in town and work on it here in New York, right?
We did. We did a 4-week lab, and it went really well. And then we were going to go to Seattle, which we were all excited about. But, if we went to Seattle, Brian and Christian were not able to go. And we thought, you know what? This is in good shape, and we know if we hunker down and really do the work, we'll be able to get it done in time. So that's what we did.
And the creators are all making their Broadway debut. How exciting is that? They're so talented.
They are. They're so talented, and it's been so much fun. And they've been real great collaborators, and we've had a blast.
Your cast, the finest cast you have put together for this show, and a lot of them are friends of yours.
Yeah, it's been, honestly, the principals for the show are ridiculous. I called up Brooks Ashmanskas and I said, all right, I'm offering you this job. He had never read it. I said, it's not a funny part. There's nothing to it. He doesn't have a song. It's the worst part in the show, and if you want it, it's yours. And suddenly it's not because he's doing it. It's been incredible. And just all of the actors brought so much to it, and we had so much fun creating and developing it together and setting it on these people. You can't have people that are that comedic and that talented and gifted and not set a show around them. So that's what we did.
You have 3 hit shows running on Broadway.
Well, let's hope this is a hit. We haven't read the reviews yet.
Well, the reviews are incredible. So we've heard already. We've already been reading them on the carpet. So just so you know.
Oh, that's great.
You
made my whole night just then.
Well, we've talked about this before. You have 3 major theaters with 3 big hits. What's it like for you walking down all these different streets with these shows that you put together?
It's pretty awesome, I have to say. It sort of doesn't seem real. I just love the theater so much. I do. I mean, I was walking with Patrick Wetzel today, who's one of the stage managers, who we've been in shows together, and we were just we were walking on a dark stage, looking at the lit up house, and just bringing tears to our eyes, because all of us on this show, I guess that's what it is, all of us in this show love doing what we do, and you can't trade that for anything. We all love doing this show and working on this show.
I remember watching you in the chorus.
I know, not anymore.
Okay, so when everybody took their bow tonight, what were you thinking?
I was a little shocked. You know what I mean? It almost feels like this show's been a dream come true, and also too good to be real in a way, because we've just had so much fun doing it. It never felt like we had people watching over us and saying, make it this way or make it that way. We just worked on it, and Kevin McCullum had great thoughts and great ideas, and always let us be creative and said, I would think about this and I would think about that, and it's just been fantastic.
Thank you for doing and continuing to do what you do best.
I will.